Foxtrot, calling on 10.
Whiskey 3, Mike, Ocean Mike.
Yeah, Whiskey 3, Mike, Ocean Mike. Very good afternoon to you, or good morning from your side, sir. My name is Mark, that's Mike, Alpha, Romeo, Kilo. And I'm in the southeast of England. I'm about 15 miles southeast of the city of London. I'll give you the report on the next over, but you've got a great audio, so it sounds like it could be a good QSO. Whiskey 3, Mom, this is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot.
Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot. Here is Whiskey 3, Mike, Ocean Mike. Yes, Mike. You got a 5.9, a solid signal from England. At times you're 10 over. I guess that's the band just changing around. Name here is Rob, Romeo, Oscar, Bravo. And I'm located in the state of Delaware on the East Coast here. And it's good to hear 10 meters open up. Really good. So, I'll send it back to you, Mark. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Fox, Whiskey 3, Mike, Ocean Mike.
Yeah, Whiskey 3, MOM, M0, JCF returning, Bob, is it Rob? Sorry, my apologies, it's Rob. I just can't read my own handwriting sometime. You're a good 5 and 6 with QSB, down to about 5 and 2, so up and down. I wouldn't take the discrepancy between a 5 and 6 and the 5 and 9 plus that you sent me. All signals I receive seem to always be at least 3 S points lower than I'm given. So I'll put that down to the antenna's receive capability rather than the other stations all transmitting the lower signal. I'm using a 5/8 wave vertical antenna, so I'm using a really basic vertical antenna from a CB antenna, just slightly shortened. The radio is ubiquitous. It's just a standard IC-7300 today by ICOM, and we got 100 watts running out of the back of the radio. As I say, Rob, the audio quality from Delaware, that little state there up in the top right hand corner from my perspective of your country, is a great audio, and even when, as I say, your signal was dropping way down low, it's a perfectly readable, lovely signal. So back to you, Whiskey 3, MOM, M0, JCF.
Yes, Mark, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox, Whiskey 3, Mike Ocean Mike. Yeah, a lot of stations adjacent to us on the band here. I can hear them, but you're still coming through quite well. Yes, good on your station there. I'm running a FTDX10, and I'm running that into an alpha amplifier, running about, I'd say about 400 watts out to you, and that's going into an off-center fit dipole of about 50 feet. And I'm in the process of changing that up here in a few months. I've got a crank-up tower, US tower cranked up, and I'm going to, of course, put the off-center fit dipole on it. And then I'm going to probably put a beam on top. I've had beams in the past, but I'm going to put another beam up there, plus a few other 2-meter and a full 40 or 77 centimeter antennas on top of that. So, yeah, I'm going to change things up a little bit, so hopefully it'll work out for me. All right, Mark, back to you. See if we're still copying. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox, Whiskey 3, Mike Ocean Mike.
Yeah, Whiskey 3, MOM, M0, JCF returning. Yeah, Rob, absolutely no problems. I was watching the bar graph on my radio, and as I say, peaking about 5 and 6, and then when your signal dropped, literally, so the bar graph was no longer showing, and your audio quality was still good there. That FTDX10 proving its weight in gold, I think. Very, very popular radios, even on this side of the pond now. I'm hearing more and more people use them. As I say, I'm using the IC-7300, which is just so common. It's unbelievable. I think they're equivalent to the Fox Tango 757 Golf X-Ray of the early to mid 80s. You know, absolutely everyone had one of those radios, except me. I wasn't licensed then, and in my pirating days I used other stuff, but we won't talk about that now. But I'll give you some Whiskey X-Ray if you'd like to hear about our misery here in the southeast of England, Rob. We've had 2 days of rain now. It hasn't been a bad summer. We've had good temperatures, up in the high 20s, and which is what, the mid 80s in Fahrenheit. Today it's about 20, 21, 22 degrees maybe, but there is a very light rain in the air. It's been on and off all morning, all afternoon, same as yesterday really, and then we expect it to brighten up over the weekend. But yeah, it does say sounding good. USA has been coming through to me probably for just over a week now. We seem to have passed the summer doldrums. We got into September, and as we approached the equinox, I noticed that a lot of the good propagation shifts into the northern hemisphere. So look forward to a good 4 or 5 months of USA contacts. I just need another 8 states. That's all I need now. I generally only CQ on 10 and 12 meters. I don't always CQ anything lower, sometimes 15, very rarely 17 and 20. I do operate 40 quite often, but I don't work the DX with 40 meters. And interesting what you're saying about your antennas, the off-center fed dipole. You know, I've considered that at my property because it would work quite well in as much as physically an off-center fed dipole would work a lot better than just a straight dipole, because a straight dipole would mean I'd have some tortuous feed line coming back to my house and the shack. And interesting you're saying about getting a beam up. I've got a 9-element beam for 2 meters. It's a 9-element LFA loop-fed antenna, and I really don't use it a lot at all. You know, every now and again there'll be a 2-meter tropo opening, and you know, and I'll work some long distance across the UK or into Europe. But I'm just not getting as much fun out of that as I used to, and I'm kind of considering now of swapping that out, removing all of the elements off of the 2-meter beam and sticking up 3 elements maybe for 10, maybe 12 meters, and using the tuner to get onto the other band, you know, whichever one I choose to build. So I'm just considering putting up a 3-element beam, because I think I'll get a lot more use and a lot more fun, because I generally CQ on 10 and 12 a lot more. Anyway, that was a bit of a long over, and it's always possible to lose someone when my mouth runs away with me, Rob. So back to you, M3, M0 JCF.
Hi, Mark. Mark 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox, Whiskey 3, Mike, Ocean Mike. Good copy, good copy. You're down in the mud now. I guess the band's just changing around, but you're still copyable. Plenty of Jason's signals, but you're coming through. Yeah, fine business on the weather over there. Yeah, it's cloudy here. It was beautiful the last 2 days, but today it's getting cloudy. We got a low pressure system off the coast here, and it's giving us lots of clouds. So. No rain as of yet, so we're good. Anyway, back to the radios. Yes, I got this FTDX10, and I was looking between that and the 7300. And I like the 7300, but the FTDX had a few more features and just kind of appealed to me, especially the front panel. So I went with that. And it's working out really good. But about a year ago, I was looking at the local ham website, and there came across a FT710, the field version. And I bought that. It was a good price, brand new. And you know what? I'm really impressed with the 710. In fact, I've been playing with it over the last few months, and I think it's almost a better radio than the FTDX10. I really do. I just like the way it's set up, and I like to receive. It just sounds a whole lot better. Don't know why, but it's probably essentially the same radio, but I like it a little better. So I plan on using that for portable operations when I go on holiday or vacation. And I've got an inset wire for that. So it works out fine for me. So Mark, back to you to see if we're still going. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox, Whiskey 3, Mike, Ocean Mike.
Yeah, Whiskey 3, MOM, M0, JCF returning. Yes, still solid. You're still hanging around the 5 and 4, 5 and 5, and to say sometimes peaking 5 and 6. So whereas I'm down in the mud from top of the shop, as it were, you're sort of just there. You know, you got some awesome presents. That's all I can say. But yeah, the IC-7300 is a bit of a departure for me, Rob. I'm an old school man, old school radios. If you was to see my garage shack, I'm in the loft today. My garage shack is absolutely loaded with old tube and hybrid equipment. That's the stuff I really love. I've got old summer camps, KW equipment, which was a factory local to me back in the 70s, 60s and 50s. I've got old Kenwoods. Now, Kenwood is probably my favourite brand, and I've got a TS830S that I was using until earlier this week when it went pop. Now, I've only just repaired it a few weeks ago. I know what the problem is. A power supply capacitor's gone, dropping the HT voltage from sort of 750, 900 volts down to about 150 volts on transmit. So I know what the problem is. More what I need to sort out is why this has happened twice, why it's blown the capacitor twice. Now, it's an old radio, that could be it. I only replaced one of the capacitors last time round. So, you know, I was at my radio club last night, and it was suggested that I've possibly got a power supply diode that is going intermittent short and delivering full volts current AC to the capacitor, and that's what's knocking it out. So we'll get on top of it though. So yeah, I love the old hybrids. I bought last weekend an FT 101 Echo, you know, an old Yaesu hybrid. But the IC-7300, the reason I bought it was I was gifted in a silent key. It was basically in a will. I was gifted a receiver, an ICOM receiver, the R6800, you know, a big expensive piece of kit. The big receiver version of maybe the IC-7610, something like that. It went up to about 3 gigahertz, you know, as a receiver. So it went almost from DC to 3 gigahertz. Anyway, it was gifted to me, and for all the love in the world, it was a beautiful, beautiful radio, but it was more than I needed as a receiver. So I sold it, and immediately this radio came up at the right price, second hand. So I bought this radio really to replace the R6800 receiver, and the radio I was using before this one, modern radio that is, was a Kenwood Tango Sierra 590 Sierra, a beautiful DSP radio. I fancy something with SDR. I wanted, you know, I was always disparaging of modern radios with touch screens and waterfalls and band scopes and all that. I was quite disparaging. Well, oh, you don't need all of that. But then I thought to myself, you know, I'm telling people what they do and don't need without actually having any direct use of one. So what I did is I bought one thinking I'll use it for 6 months like I always do, and then sell it and buy something else. But I've had this one 2 years now, and it's truly fantastic, and I don't think I've used and utilized all of the functions and features within it. You know, it's an amazing piece of kit. The technology is way above my pay grade in some respects, because as I say, I'm still stuck with tubes, you know, let alone transistors, and then integrated circuits, and then modern, you know, receiving technology. I am an ex-telecom engineer, so I am well versed in digital communications, etc. I've just never in the past married my background with the amateur radio. So that's why I've got the IC-7300, and why I've departed from the the Kenwood stables. Is it was there, and it was just really, I was sort of in part as well. I wanted to replace the ICOM that I sold with another ICOM, because the receiver was left to me in a will, and it would have been very rude to just sort of spend the money on a car or something like that. So that's why I've got this radio. So that's the story there, Rob. Whiskey 3, Mike Oscar Mike, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Yes, Mark. Mark 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox, Whiskey 3, my coach and Mike. Well, I'm on QRZ perusing your website, and I'm looking at all the radios you've got a collection of, and you're into a lot of stuff here. I'm looking at Kenwoods, I'm looking at your 7300. Let's see. A lot more Kenwoods. Your KWs. KW Atlanta. Your KW amps. Let's see what else. Oh, you're into some, you got an SDX transceiver. That's interesting, since you've got all this equipment. I see a couple of Swans sitting on there. Yes, good collection. You're really into it. Yes, sir. Oh, nice stuff. All right, Mark, I got things to do this morning, so it's really been a pleasure talking to you. The past over here. And I really enjoyed this. This is nice, especially with some music. I'm glad we can hold some. There's a lot of adjacent stations going on, but they're moving in. So, all right, Mark. I'll let you go. I'll say 73s to you. It's been a real pleasure. So, 73s to you, Mark. I hope to talk to you again real soon. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox, Whiskey 3, Mike Ocean Mike.
Yeah, Whiskey 3, Mike Ocean Mike, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox Violet Final. You know, Rob, an absolute pleasure to speak to you today. Say, right until your very last over, you was consistently up around the S5, and then the last one, you were lucky if you nudged Santiago 2. So it's probably a very good call from your side that you decide to wind this up, because there's nothing worse than having a QSO with someone, and I tend to have long overs, which is sometimes a problem, and then we lose the people in the QSB. And yes, I can hear people tuning up on the band. I'm suspecting Europeans who have heard your voice and are ready to pounce. Well, unfortunately, I'm CQing on the frequency, so they're not going to get that pleasure today. But have a fantastic weekend, Rob. I wish you and everyone around you very best 73, and I look forward to hearing you again. I'm always on 10 and 12 meters. Do come and say hello and jump in, and I can give you an update on my QRZ page, which does need updating itself. Some of that equipment has gone, some has moved sideways, and some of it has been added to it. So it's a conversation for the future. You take care, go and do what you got to do, and until the next time, bye bye for now. Take care, good luck.
Whiskey 3, bro. All right, Mark. Real pleasure. Hope we can do it again. And I look for you on 12 meters. I go down there every once in a while, so I'll look for you again, and we can just begin again. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox, Mike, Mark, Whiskey 3, Mike, Coach Mike, 73.
Yes, 73s, Rob. And as you were signing off, another Whiskey 3 was calling me. The other Whiskey 3, if you'd like to come back to, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox, please.
Yeah, good morning. Whiskey 3, Bravo, Juliet. Name is John, Juliet, Oscar Hotel, November. You're 5 and 9 plus. 5 and 9 plus in the state of Maryland. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the 5 and 9 plus, John there in Maryland. And you're just 5 and 3 to me. And as I was just saying to your countryman, Rob, who's over in Delaware, just across the road from you, my receive is always a lot less than I seem to be transmitting to people. So don't think that something's gone wrong with your transmit side. It's definitely my receive side, John. Today I'm using an IC-7300, got 100 watts out the back of the radio, and the antenna is very simple. It's a 5/8 wave of vertical antenna, and I do sometimes think that it's maybe a little bit deaf on 10 meters. I'm not sure why, I can't work it out, but it seems to be the way of the world. But I can hear you absolutely fine, and that's what matters to me when I'm talking on the radio. Can I be heard and can I hear them? That's the bit that's important to me, John. So back to you. Whiskey 3 Bravo Juliet, this is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Conditions are really good on 10 meters yesterday and today. I'm using Icon 7610 with 100 watts and a 3-element beam up about 20 feet. So I won't keep you. 7 trees, you know, like working it, and we'll put you in the log. 7 trees and have a good day.
Yeah, John, an absolute pleasure to hear you from Maryland, and the 3-element beam working, you know, as well as we would expect, and you just got the challenge of getting your signal into my antenna. So there you go. I wish you a very good weekend. 73 to everyone around you, and thanks for calling in. Always be sure to check in with me when you hear me calling and say hello, and we'll always get you in the logbook there, John. Take care and bye-bye for now. Whiskey 3 Bravo Juliet Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. QRZ Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England. Nothing is heard. CQ, CQ, CQ10, 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 CQ on 10 meters. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Calling CQ10, CQ10, CQ on 10. CQ, CQ, CQ10, 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 CQ on 10. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Calling 10.
Whiskey 2 Alpha Juliet Romeo.
Whiskey 2 Alpha Juliet Romeo. Very good afternoon, sir. My name is Mark, that's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. I'm in the southeast of England, about 15 miles southeast of the city of London itself. And I'll give you a report on the next over and some tech details if you'd like it. Whiskey 2 Alpha Juliet Romeo. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Roger on that, Mark. The name here is Andy Alpha November Delta Yankee. I'm just outside the city of Buffalo, New York, on the shores of Lake Erie. Go ahead.
Yeah, QSL, Andy, and funnily enough, I was talking to someone yesterday from a very similar location, just south of Buffalo, on the lake, on the coast of Lake Erie. So a small world it certainly is. Today, Andy, you're 5 and 5 to me, peaking 5 and 5. That's the normal thing is everyone seems to be low to me today, and I seem to be high to them. But we'll see how that one goes. I'm using an IC-7300. I'm using just 100 watts from the back of the radio, and the antenna is just a very simple 5/8 wave of vertical antenna for 10 meters. So that's the story, Andy, near Buffalo. M0 JCF listening for Whiskey 2 AJR.
Roger on that, Mark. The conditions here is a Yaesu FT920. She's an old girl. I'm running 100 watts as well, and a wire. I've got a 120-foot doublet up about 35 foot, and that's what I'm running. Working conditions here. Beautiful signal from England today.
Yeah, the lower part of 10 metres between 28.3 and 28.5. Absolutely full up with North Americans today. I've been working North America, Andy, consistently now for the last week. So it looks like we've come out of the summer doldrums and the propagation has switched to the northern hemisphere. It's been a summer of Brazilian and Argentinian stations in the main to me on 10 and 12. That's where you normally find me as well, is 10 and 12 metres CQing. And I've been talking to a few people now. I'm considering putting up a beam antenna. A lot of people using dipoles, doublets, off-centre fed dipoles, and they seem to be working very well, coming back in my direction as well. So it's a consideration that I may just experiment with a dipole or a doublet or something similar for 10 metres and see how it compares to the vertical. Then maybe the vertical will come down. I've got a 2 metre beam up at the moment that really doesn't get used, so I may well take down the 9 element 2 metre beam and put up a 3 element 10 metre or 12 metre beam. I'll see how that goes, but I'm a very lazy man, Andy, very lazy indeed. Back to you.
Well, that's one thing about this hobby, Mark. Experimenting with antennas seems to be the thing, and it's the place where we can make the most difference in our signals. And I've got a lot of wires crisscrossing the air, small lot, but lots of wire in the air. My wife is getting concerned, Roger.
Yeah, I know. Do you know, I've got a station manager with exactly the same concerns. You know, she calls my 9 element 2 metre beam those bloody monkey bars, you know, with reference to those bars that they exercise on in the gymnasium. And she's quite right. I can see where she's coming from. When our daughters were younger, they're both in their 20s now, but when they were small, we used to have the monkey bars in the garden on like a climbing frame that they would climb all over. So that's where my wife's got that from. So yeah, I can't just put up another beam. One has got to come down before the next one goes up. But I've also got a multi-band trapped vertical that I've had for a few years now. It's made by Diamond. It's still sitting in the box. But I don't know, maybe at some point that will go up. But once again, another one will have to come down. So the 10 metre band vertical may have to come down. Now, I'm not too fussed about that. If the trapped vertical was to work well on 12 and 10 metres, I'll be quite happy with that. But I'll be very disappointed if I replace the 10 metre band vertical with, you know, the trapped vertical, which is a quarter wave trapped. I think it goes from 40 metres down to 6 metres. So we'll see. But, you know, if you check out my QRZ page, you'll see, because I'm so lazy, I'd rather sit there working on old hybrid and tube equipment than actually climbing ladders and swinging around outside. Not something I'd want to do today either, Andy, because it's not very good weather out there today. The last 2 days it's been raining, a little bit breezy. It's not cold out there, it's just a bit wet. So winter's on the way. Pardon me. Got a frog in the throat. Winter's on the way, and it looks like it's going to be a bit of a wet and windy one. So back to you, Andy. Whiskey 2, AJR, M0, JCF.
Roger on that, Mark. Yes, the weather here is a little, we're starting to cool off now. Definitely fall in the air. We're going to get a little bit of taste of that. We've had a frost in the area, not where I am, but close by. So that started already. So we're already on the downward slope. The trees are starting to change their leaves, starting to drop a little bit. It's going to be wet this afternoon. It's going to be wet tomorrow morning. Hopefully we'll get a good weekend out of it. Mark, I'm starting to lose you a little bit. I'm gonna say 7-3 while I can still copy you and you can still copy me. It was a great QSO. I thank you very much for calling and coming back to my reply, Roger.
Absolutely no problem, Andy. An absolute pleasure to speak to you as well. Yeah, your signal's dropped to a consistent 5 and 2. So it looks like you made a good call there to stop it before I lose you and we never get to say goodbye. I'm always on 10 and 12 metres, Andy. Always come and say hello. It doesn't matter how many times I get you in the logbook. I think I'd rather have these friendly QSOs, these friendly chats, than a quick 5 and 9 73 contest style. It's not really the way I do it. I mean, if that's what I get, it's what I get, but it's not what I try to give back. You know, I try to give back at least a little bit of information, and I've enjoyed the little exchange of information we've just done. And just as a final comment, you probably heard it before, I've just checked out your QRZ page, Andy, and you remind me of the actor John Goodman. I don't know if it's the camera angle or anything, but yeah, you've definitely got a famous face there, and I hope that you can capitalise on that in the future. I don't know about Roseanne Barr though, she might give you a run for your money. Andy, take care, have a great weekend, and 73 to everyone around you. Best wishes, mate. Bye bye for now. Whiskey 2 Alpha Juliet Romeo, this is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Just lost you, you dropped down to a readability 3 there, so a good call to stop it there, Andy. Take care, bye bye for now. QRZ, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox, southeast of England. Nothing is heard. CQ 10.
You have my call correct. Name here is Dave, and we are camping in a provincial park in Ontario. Over.
Yeah, November 2, Tango Papa Quebec, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Coming back to you, I'll give you your report, peaking about 5 and 3. You're peaking about 5 and 3 from the park in Quebec. And I do believe you said a provincial park in Quebec. I'm just wondering if you have a locator for where you are, and I'd be very interested to know what antenna and power you're running, sir. November 2, Tango Papa Quebec. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox.
Okay, that's it. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox. That's right, I think. From November 2 Tango Papa Quebec to BE3. Okay, yes, I am in Ontario, province of Ontario, in Canada, and the POTA designation is Charlie Alpha 03905. Charlie Alpha 03905. And it is a Sleeping Giant Provincial Park. I am running 100 watts with a ST891 to a 40-meter end-fed half wave. 40-meter end-fed half wave. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problems whatsoever, David. I've got you as POTA, Charlie Alpha 0395, and it's a Sleeping Giant Provincial Park in Quebec. Very, very interesting. And yeah, you're giving me peaking 5 and 5. You're peaking 5 and 5 with that end-fed half wave for 40 meters, I think you said. So it's working well. You're making it across the Atlantic Ocean, and absolutely no problem to hear you. A little bit of QSB on the signal, but I'm sure that with the POTA and your suffix or even the prefix of Victor Echo 3, you're just in time to give yourself a massive pile up. I know when I've heard POTA stations, SOTA stations, etc., there's always a huge great pile up. So I expect that if you want to take the frequency from me, I was about to go QRT, but if you'd like to take the frequency from me and operate you're more than welcome. But quite happy to sit here and rag chew with you for a short while if you'd like. November 2, Tango Papa Quebec, stroke VE3. This is M0 JCF.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for that offer. By the way, you are now a good 5x8 signal, and very, very comfortable copy. So I am not actually doing a program. We've been quite busy enjoying the natural features here and hiking and learning about the history of the region. So my ham radio activity has been just standing around and looking what I can. So thank you very much for your generous offer. So thanks for the contact. Appreciate it. By the way, I missed your name. Please get that. And I'll pass along my 73s, and thank you for coming back to me. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot from November 2, Tango Papa, Quebec, stroke VE3.
They're in N2 TPQ, stroke VE3 M0, JCF returning for that final. David, my name is Mark, that's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm about 15 miles southeast of the city of London in the county of Kent. Kilo Echo November Tango. The Garden of England is what we call it. It's the Garden of England down there in the southeast. A beautiful part of England. I love it, but then I am biased because I live here. Please enjoy your weekend up there in the wilds of Canada. It must be getting very, very beautiful now with the fall colours coming on. It sounds like you're an outdoorsman, and I hope that you have great weather for the weekend and for the length of time that you're up there. And look forward to speaking to you again. You take care. Very best 73. I'm going to hand the frequency to you, and until the next time, take care, be safe, and really enjoy the countryside and the history. And bye bye for now. November 2, Tango Papa Quebec / Victor Echo 3, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Take care and bye bye for now.
Okay, Mark, very good, very good. Very nice copy all the way through, and very enjoyable talking with you. And certainly look for you on the band later. And have a very good afternoon. And we'll be tuning around. I think we're probably going to head out, do some more hiking now. M0JCF from N2 TPQ stroke VE3 73 Mark.
You're very, very welcome, David. Take care. Bye-bye for now. Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot is now QRT. The frequency is clear for use. Station, you were very, very low. I was just going QRT and I heard a Kilo Charlie station call, but you were very, very low indeed. It might be a bit difficult, but I can at least exchange a report if I can get your call sign. Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot listening.
Victor Alpha 1, Charlie, Charlie.
Victor Alpha 1, Charlie, Charlie. Okay, got you that time. Absolutely no problem. The name this side is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm 15 miles southeast of the city of London. I'll give you a report on the next over. Victor Alpha 1, Charlie, Charlie. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox.
Roger, Roger, Mark. Nice signal. Out of England, I'll go at 5 and 9, 5 here, and go back to the
Yeah, QSL, thanks for the 5 and 9. You are peaking, Brian, peaking 5 and 5, but with QSB, you're dropping down to what would be Santiago 2, which is where my noise floor is today on on 12 meters. I think a nearby a neighbor has either halogen or LED lights that they've switched on in the last 15 minutes, and it's brought my noise floor from 0 to Santiago 2. So you're just dipping in and out of that as a 5 and 3. But thanks for the 5 and 9. Quite surprised I'm putting out such a good signal in your direction. I'm using a 5/8 wave vertical antenna for 10 meters, running 100 watts from an IC-7300. Back to you, Brian. VA1CC M0 JCF. Absolutely no problem. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. And Mexico 0 Japan Canada Florida. Is that a QSL, Brian? Back to you. Yeah, VA1CC M0 JCF returning for that final, Brian, out there in Nova Scotia. It was great to make the contact. It was difficult, but when you was loud, you were loud. And unfortunately, when you were down on my noise floor today. Otherwise, I don't think I'd have any trouble hearing you at 5 and 1. But yeah, a massive swing, massive QSB swing there, and very interesting conditions. Hopefully the band will pick up as we move into autumn and winter, and you'll hear me again on 12 meters. Come and say hello. 73 to you and your family, and I hope everyone has a great weekend around you. Take care and bye bye for now. VA1CC M0 JCF. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, Roger, Mark. That was a great transmission. Copied 100% at 5 and 9 plus 5. The band is up and down as you indicate. Thank you, my friend. You and your family enjoy. Take care. Be safe. VA1CC clear with that 0
Yeah, 73, old friend, and take care yourself. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England, about to go QRT, unless anyone would like to call in for a report. I'm listening just one more time. Okay, I know a station is calling. Unfortunately, impossible to hear you. I have a Santiago 2 noise floor, and you're well below that. So your readability is 1 or 2. Your readability is 1 or 2. However, I have got the patience. There is QSB on the band. I will listen a few more times. I have got no problem listening to get you in the logbook. So this is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, listening for any takers on this frequency. Okay, that's a negative copy. I'm listening one more time, then I will release the frequency. And station calling me, if you'd like to take the frequency, please do. I do appreciate your time and effort. I do appreciate you trying to call in. For your logbook, if you're hearing me, I'm using a 5/8 wave vertical antenna, but for 10 meters. I'm running 100 watts from an IC-7300. The antenna's a little bit deaf, I think, for today. So listening one more time for the station calling, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Okay, that's a negative copy, negative copy. M0JCF is now QRT. This frequency is definitely now clear for use. The frequency is clear for use.